Hello and welcome to the Tapping into Abundant Success podcast. Today I am joined with the fabulous Helen Nibs from Ripples of Light. Now, you may have heard of Helen through my previous retreat and also in my networking events because she has been a guest speaker before. But I'm going to reintroduce her because today we've got a different theme coming up. So, Helen, tell us where you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, so originally I am from South Leicestershire, and in 1998 I moved to the US, to Oklahoma, and I've been here ever since. My family is still all in England, but I'm here and I've made my life here. I've worked in corporate America for over 22 years. And I've also been working, doing more spiritual work as well, kind of, on the side, as it were. And until I left corporate America and made this my full-time gig. So I have been a medium for many years. I've been a Reiki master for over 20 years. And then it kind of grew into, because doing readings one-on-one is great, don't get me wrong, I still do that, but I wanted to help more people on a bigger scale, to move forward with their life, their development, and how they could grow and expand into a more aligned life for them. So I've now started group coaching, which has been really fun, really fun.
Brilliant. I love that. I love that you've gone into group coaching. I love that you've chosen to follow your spiritual gifts, follow your soul purpose, and actually create bigger change and impact in the world. As you know, and those that are listening will know that obviously I am very spiritually aware, and I use that spiritual gift to do that ultimate transformation, which from my experience personally and professionally has been absolutely profound. So it's so nice to see other people stepping into their power, reigniting that magic and sharing those gifts with the world. So Helen, I've got a few questions that I want to ask you today. In terms of tapping into abundant success, you have been massively engaged in leadership. So what would you say, bearing in mind you were in the corporate world, what would you say now to spiritual entrepreneurs who are leading the way through spiritual development?
Sorry, so do you mean like how to work in the corporate world for them, or
No, how to be in the spirit, into how to be the best leader in this. I've probably not explained that very well, have I?
oh, still
So
early with me. I'm still waking up. I'm sorry. So how they could bring more leadership skills to spiritual entrepreneurship, you mean? Sorry.
perfect. Yes, that's the one.
um yes. And here's the thing that I do tend to see. Sometimes when people are doing spiritual work and they've just gone, more perhaps direct into that route, then they want to have a separation. It's like, I want to be spiritual, so I'm afraid to charge. That's a thing you hear a lot. I'm afraid to charge money for what I do because it's spiritual work. I'm like, well, you pay an electrician who comes out to your house and he studied and put time in to get to where he is, so it's okay. So have you, hopefully. But there really isn't a separation. You've got to have a similar mindset. You've got to look at it as a business as well. You've got to have that framework set up. You've got to think of it as a business. Like, how is this sustainable? How can I, if you were going to go and set up a sandwich shop, you'd be like, right, fine, okay, where's my menu? Got my menu. This is my space. This is where I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to market it. But it's very easy for that to get perhaps more tricky when people think of it in a spiritual way. It's just like, how am I going to do this? Oh, I kind of do that. I don't know. And of course, a lot of times it's not as tangible when you're doing spiritual work. You do energy healing, but you can't, measure it perhaps in the same way. So it's just like, oh, I don't know, other people are doing it better. Well, other people said, that they had this result and I don't know. And I only got into it when I was 30. Other people say they did it when they were 5 and I'm not sure. So there's definitely, I know, the whole time. I'm like, I don't care if you're 70 and it just came on, like, go with it, but I think you've got to look at it in that way and just be like, if if I have these spiritual gifts, then you can certainly say, I'm just going to use this for my own personal development and just for my friends and family, and I don't really want to pursue it as a business. And that is absolutely fine. It's not for everyone. But if you do want to go with it as a business, then think how you can put that framework in place so you don't get burnt out, because that is key. Because you can get burnt out very easily because you're like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. So think about how you want to offer it, what you want to offer, and who you want to work with, and go from there.
It's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And I love the fact that you're pushing people to gain clarity, because it is one of the biggest keys to moving forward and getting unstuck. But just if we could go a little bit deeper on that conversation, like I know I totally didn't even like explain it very well to start off with, so we'll try again.
Sorry.
So a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs come into this world, they have this vision that they want to help people, they are ready to change lives, they're ready to expand, they're ready to grow, but they seem to find fault within their accountability, their productivity, they procrastinate, they feel afraid, but yet they are the leader of their lives, they are the leader of their business, they are the leader all in. So how would you guide someone to go from plodding along to owning their inner leader with their spiritual gifts?
First thing I would say is that, well, life in general, but certainly spiritual work, it has its ebbs and flows. So sometimes you may feel, like everything is flowing, and other times you may not. So I would just say perhaps that's just the ebb and flow. So just go with it. And the other thing that I'd in a membership association I'm in, they talk about having a CEO hour. Even if it's just you, you're still the CEO, right? So sit down and put it on your calendar and then plan every week. This is what I would like to do this week, this month, this year, and set those goals and calendar it and then go for it. Is that because you find that most people who do spiritual work, that they've got an ideal audience or a particular person they feel drawn to help. It could be that they want to work with women making breakthroughs. It could be that they want to do energy healing for people who have got out of the military. I talked to someone who was doing that the other day. That's their thing. They're like, I want to work with wounded soldiers, and they feel very drawn to that. So think about what you're very drawn to, and don't think that there's some kind of manual. Just feel like what you are spiritually drawn to do, and then things will start to unfold. When it comes to the leadership aspect, because you can't stop working on yourself. So if you basically feel, I'm doing a lot of work with chakras right now in the coaching. So if you feel it's just like, working towards getting your chakras aligned so that your leadership becomes more aligned, and you're going to bring everything in. Sometimes people will be like, oh, I only want to work on my third eye, or I only want to do this. But leadership comes with all the chakras engaged.
I love this.
And leadership is engaging everything, really, because sometimes you might get people go, well, leadership is just about power or making a breakthrough or being the figurehead of something. But you have to, I think, for successful leadership, you have to engage on a lot more levels than that. If you don't bring your heart to it, then you might just as well hang it up right here, and you have to, I think bringing the crown and the third eye into it are helpful as well, because you've got to have vision for where you want to go or where you want your company to go. You've got to, if you have your crown like engaged, then you're going to be really feeling that the insights and some perhaps guidance. You're going to be feeling more than you've got. If you've got your throat engaged, you'll be able to speak more clearly or speak truth or be transparent. It's a big buzzword right now, isn't it? About your business. It's like, what do you do in your business and who do you want to help? If you work for a nonprofit, which I did a for-profit and a nonprofit, but if you're working for that, I mean, you need to perhaps be more transparent about financials and where the money's going and what you're doing for the members. And, you know, you've really got to engage everything. And I don't think you can forget about all the people that you're impacting as you go through this leadership journey. And even if that's just you as a solo entrepreneur, as you're doing spiritual entrepreneurship, you're still having huge impact on people, whether you realize it or not, you know, because they might come back to you later and be like, that thing you said, or that session I had with you, that provided the little, you know, switch that I then went on to do this. That one thing that you said, or that one thing can help you, can help that person make a change. And when you provide that, and you're providing guidance and a framework for people, that is leadership, because you're not doing it for them, you're leading them.
Yeah, and this
Or
is what I
sometimes just
love.
walking beside them. I like that a bit better sometimes, but you're just helping them on their journey.
Yeah, but that's what being a true leader is about, isn't it? It's not about
Yeah,
dictatorship. It's not about
right.
saying you need to follow my rules. You need to sit there like, and I use this terminology quite a lot because it's one that I can relate to as the nodding dog syndrome. If you were sitting there in your business going, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, whether that be with a business coach, whether that be with a consultant, whether that be with a spiritual leader, whether that be with someone you're doing some personal development work, if you are saying, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, you are not in alignment with your business. You are not showing up as a leader, which leads me perfectly into the next part of this podcast today. So, tapping into abundant success takes so much more than just setting an intention and hoping and praying for the best. It's about up leveling on a core level. As spiritual entrepreneurs, we must make a stand in who we are with authenticity. Yes, I know that's another buzzword at the moment, but it's true. Being your
Right.
authentic self is what is going to lead you forward. But Helen, I love the fact that you connect leadership with chakras, especially in the work that we do. I am so thrilled to announce that Helen is actually going to be bringing us I don't even know what we're going to call it. Is it going to be a masterclass, a workshop, or just a session? I'm not sure yet. We haven't worked out the final
An
details.
experience. We're having an
There we go.
experience.
That's it. Yeah, we are having an experience. And on the 10th to the 13th of July, we are opening the doors to the Spiritual Entrepreneurs Business Growth Summit. It is free and it is online. And Helen is one of our guest speakers who is going to be delivering a fantastic session for you on how to be a leader with your chakras. Now, we have figured out the actual title, which I don't have at the tip of my tongue. Can you remember? No.
Revolutionary leadership with the chakras.
Yay, she did it. Okay, there we go. I forgot and Helen remembered. So we're going in with revolutionary leadership with the chakras. Helen is on day 1 of the summit. You do not want to miss this because it's going to help you stand into your power, lead your business with authenticity, and help you tap into more abundant success. There is just so much magic going on here, and I love, love, love it. So before we wrap up, I just want to say a massive thank you to Helen. Helen, do you have any questions for me before we move on?
Oh no. Well, I guess I'd say, what would be your one tip for
Ooh.
spiritual entrepreneurs leadership?
Okay, so my one tip as a spiritual entrepreneur in leadership would be to connect to your heart center more. Focus on what it is you actually want to deliver. Focus on what the message you want to share, but more importantly, open your heart to being the role model that you actually wanted yourself. Because when you step into that role model that you always wanted, that's when you'll be serving more in alignment.
That is so true. And I think so often we think, oh, this is how it should be done. Even when it's our own business and it's just us, it was a mind shift for me anyway, and I'm sure for others too. You know, it's just like, it's still my own business, but you're still kind of following along previous cookie cutter rules, you know, and you're just like, oh, and then, you know, finally you seem to have that epiphany. It's just like, oh, hey, it's my own business and I can do it my own way. I don't know why that sometimes takes a while for the penny to drop, but it does, you know.
It
And
really does.
then you start to go, okay, I can do this my own way. And I think, you know, one of the things that I'm just loving about the online space right now is how many tools are available out there for people to get out and reach people and to make their stuff look really great too. I'm just like, there are so many
Absolutely.
things out there and so many people can help you with that. You know, if you just reach out and be like, okay, because Instagram, I've got no idea. So I just like reach out to other people. How do you do this thing? You know, okay? And someone always knows. So don't be afraid to reach out too. And I think that is such an important part of leadership, not pretending you know everything. The most important part of leadership is saying, I don't know everything, like in your department or about this. What am I doing? Because gathering more information and bringing it back is really what engages people and makes you a better leader.
Absolutely. And you know, I can't wait to hear how the session with you is going to unfold, particularly with learning the weaknesses and strengths of the chakras in terms of leadership too. So this is just going to be absolutely magical. So for those listening or watching in, the Tapping into Abundance Success podcast is all about moving you forward. It's about creating that change and inspiring you to step forward. So if nothing else, go and get yourself registered for the summit. The links will be around somewhere. Just go and click on them, find them, or reach out to me on social media, and I'll get them to you that way. Helen, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to work with you inside the summit. And to those that are watching, if you've got any questions, do reach out. We do want to hear from you. If you are watching from the podcast itself, don't forget to click the microphone button. You can send me a voice note and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. That's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Helen, you're an absolute rock star. I love your mission. I love your values. I love what you're doing. I love your energy. And thank you for being here today. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.